This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers Report on this Tuesday morning. Now, Tuesday morning means Seth Merrill from Equidaily.com and Mike Jarbrough from the Times-Union. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Seth. How are you today?
No complaints so far. We'll see how the rest of the day works
I
out.
think the rest of the day is going to go a little bit downhill.
Well, we'll see what happens. Aren't they saying tomorrow another, foot of snow on the ground? I'm ready. I'm ready for winter.
Yeah, well, how can you not be ready after what's going on so far this year?
Absolutely. And speaking of what's gone on, let's go back to the weekend, get some of your thoughts. It was a big racing weekend. We've talked about it a little bit already on the network over the past couple of days. Nice day of stakes racing across the country, really around the world. If you toss in Dubai, and a nice race down in Australia as well. But back on Saturday, what were some of your highlights?
Game on, dude. What a great performance in the big cap, huh?
Yeah, tour de force we labeled.
Wow, that was terrific. And Mucho Macho Man, not so much. Not so mucho on that day.
Yeah, and he's thrown in some clunkers before and bounced right back, so I certainly wouldn't write him off by any means. He put in the big effort down at Gulfstream. He'd run very well over that Santa Anita Strip before, so I expect him to bounce back. I just think, and we said it in the talking about it the last couple of days, Game On Dude just has that high cruising speed and then can maintain that all the way around. And he takes other horses out of their game. And Mucho Macho Man has some speed, but I don't know if it's that kind of speed. So Mucho Macho Man is up there. Will take charge, though. I've said it a couple of times already now the last couple of days. Totally hats off to him, because Will Take Charge was definitely out of his comfort zone being up that close. But I'm sure they said, we've got to be up that close. And so, his second place finish now, he's just run into a couple of buzzsaws in his first two starts this year.
Excellent performance, though.
Oh, absolutely.
This is one to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, over the past few days, some Saratoga-related news, and that the Hall of Fame nominations were announced last Friday. Chris Antley, Garrett Gomez, Craig Perrette, Alex Solis, jockeys among the horses nominated for the 2014 Hall of Fame class. Shadow, Curlin, Kona Gold, and Extra Heat, and trainer Steve
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got a move that tells me what to do. If you don't, brothers and sisters, then you won't know what it's all about.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back to Handicappers Report. I'm Mike Jarbrough from the Times-Union. I'm here with Seth Merrill from Equidaily.com. Seth is taking a look at Turf Paradise today. The sixth race at Turf Paradise, we have $3,500 claimers, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners at 3 lifetime. They'll go 5.5 furlongs.
6, 2, 4, and 7. The number 6 is I Feel Free. It's one of those, I talk about them every once in a while when you see this kind of a scenario. You just scratch your chin and say, did that last signal this horse is going in the wrong direction? To me, that last race was enough of an aberration that I'll forgive it. But, the comment line, eased, walked off. That can't be good, but the horse comes back pretty quickly. There was, one of our Delaware handicappers, I think. This was one of his favorite kind of scenarios, horses that were eased in races on their comeback. And it's not that unheard of for these horses to come back and run very well. This horse went off as a 7-5 favorite, and again, threw in that inexplicable clunker last time. But the races just prior to that, absolutely good enough to take this race. So I'll feel free. There's obviously some trepidation off of that last race, but we'll hope that was just an aberration and this horse comes back to the prior efforts. Second spot, the number 2, Frisco Bound, in some good form right now, but was claimed last time and moving from a 34% trainer to a 7% trainer. Now, the fact of the matter is that last race, February 4th, we're 5 weeks out. Is that enough time? Has some of that Mike Chambers magic worn off in that time? We'll hope that the new trainer has kept this one in some decent condition. Comes back at the same level as the claim, ran a good second in that race, as I say, in some pretty good form. But again, you have to note that move. So both of my top picks have a little bit of, yin and yang working for him here. Third spot, the number 4, Bold Aggressor. Another one that tossed in a fluky dud last time, like my top pick. The prior efforts were pretty good, though. So all three of mine have some things you can like and some things you can find fault with. Maybe out of all of mine, maybe the number 4 time, or the number 7, my 4th selection, Time on Your Hands, is the one with the most recent consistency. But I thought the numbers on my others were better if they get back to those. So it's a little bit of a question mark, a little bit of a head scratcher, and a handicapping puzzle in race 6. But I went 6, 2, 4, and 7.
That'll bring us up to the 7th at Turf Paradise. We have $5,000 claimers. 3-year-olds and up, they'll be going 6 furlongs.
5, 7, 9, and 1. The number 5 is Lucchese. Gets some class relief today. Was in a starter, 7,000 last time. And those starters tend to be salty. Just prior to that was in some 8,000 claimers. Was claimed 3 starts back, a state bred 3,200 though. So it's not like this horse is, visiting the basement for the first time. That 3,200 claimer ran a good second that day at the 8,000 start. 3 back was a nice winner. So I think we're right in the comfort zone here at 6,250. And with the slight class relief off the last 3 starts, should provide a little bit of oomph and be the one to beat. Second spot, we will go out to the number 7, Silk Indian. Gets some slight class relief and seems to be in some pretty good form right now. We go back 4 or 5 starts, and we're seeing the buyer figures improve each and every start. Raced at the 6,250 level last time, is at 5 today. But again, this is one of those where we're going 5 to 6,250. So I think last time it was 6,250 up to 8,000. So I think there is some class relief in here, but it's slight class relief. But you combine that again with a nice improving form over the last few starts. Silk Indian seems logical. And then the number 9, No Team Spirit. Needs to rebound. This is yet another horse on the card today that threw in a little bit of a dud last time. That was off a layoff of maybe 6 weeks or so, so maybe needed that one. I think this horse, with a little bit of a tightener and a nice 59 workout back on March 6th, I think this horse is primed to run very well. And there's a little bit of a horse for a course angle here. This horse has started 11 times at Turf Paradise and has 5 wins, has been in the money in 9 of those 11 starts. So again, seems to like this track, and off of that workout and the start last time, the fitness, the class level and whatnot, No Team Spirit, I think is going to be dangerous in here. 7th at Turf Paradise, I have it 5, 7, 9, and 1.
Okay, in the 8th at Turf Paradise, we're going back on the grass. We have fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, going for a 6,250 tag. They're going about a mile.
2, 8, 6, and 3. The number 2 is Coco Nino, who has some nice early speed, been racing right in this company the last few starts and has been doing so competitively. I think that early speed is going to be potent and dangerous today. So Coco Nino on top. Second spot, we'll go out to the number 8, Monday. This one's getting some class relief. Another horse with some early speed. Last time, couldn't get out to that early lead. and wound up finishing a fading 6th. But with what I think is fairly significant class relief today, this horse should be much more competitive. And then the number 6, Harlan's Sweetie, the nice apprentice Skylar Whiteshield on board, has been on board the past few starts, which included a win last time, and that last one was a move from allowance company to a conditional claimer at the 10 tag. Now moves down to the 62.50 tag. Now, I think a conditional 10, a 10 non-winners of 2 lifetime to an open 62.50, I'm almost making that kind of a horizontal move. But there's maybe a little bit of class relief. And this horse certainly did show some ability last time, so seems to be in some good form right now. So in race number 8, 2, 8, 6, and 3.
And that'll bring us to the nightcap at Turf Paradise. We have a $3,500 claimer, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 lifetime.
10, 5, 3, and 1. The 10 is Victory for C. This is hard to know quite what to do with. Certainly if this horse comes back and repeats that last effort, we'll run away and hide for these. And I think the betting public will jump on this horse. But you never quite know. Sometimes that first effort can be maybe a little bit fluky. Was that number for real? And if so, they win for a maiden 8 and doing so pretty successfully. Why do they come back for a 3,500 tag? I think, again, this horse repeats that last effort, wins for fun in this field. But I think there are some real question marks. And as I noted, I think looking at that last race, the betting public will jump on this horse. So if you're playing, play around a little bit, I would say, particularly if you're out in pick 3s and pick 4s, because I think this is a favorite that is a little bit vulnerable just on the scenario. Again, this horse could win by a city block, but I think there are some question marks. Number 5, Allie Did It in the 2nd spot. When we look at the numbers, again, that buyer fired by my top pick, Victory for C, has a real edge on this bunch. But in the 2nd spot, Allie Did It has numbers that are clearly second best. So I think Allie Did It is interesting in here again, if you're going to take maybe a little bit of a shot against that 10 horse. And then Dino Wacky, the number 3 horse. Last time out, threw in a little bit of a dud, but that was a stretch out to a mile. Cuts back to 6 furlongs today. I think that's probably a little bit, 6.5 actually, but same scenario. Cuts back to a sprint distance, which I think is a little more in the wheelhouse of Dino Wacky. And so I think the cutback could provide a little bit of oomph today for that one. Again, it'll be a fun race to watch because will Victory for C come back to that? But that's part of the handicapping puzzle. You're looking at it, and as I say, they win for 8,000. Do so in a number that would allow this horse probably to move to a little stiffer company than today. So why are they dangling this one out there for essentially a bottom-level claiming tag of 3,500? So we'll see what happens. Victory for C, I think, could go either way. If you're going to play around, maybe Allie Did It, maybe Dino Wacky. But in the 9th today, 10, 5, 3, and 1.
And that'll bring us to another break. When we come back, I'll be looking at today's racing at Parks in Philadelphia. Stay with us, please.
This is Steve Beck. Join me Tuesday through Saturday here on OTB TV for At the Races, my Sirius XM daily news magazine of the thoroughbred industry. Handicapping, interviews, analysis, everything you could want. 6 a.m., OTB TV.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Each morning on the OTB TV network, you get the very best in horse racing programming. Weekdays begin with the Handicappers Report, where professional handicappers share their selections and analysis of the day's racing. Followed by Racing Across America, a daily conversation with racing personalities from around the country. Saturdays include Down the Stretch, where Mark Casano speaks with the biggest names in racing. And Sunday mornings, it's Loose on the Lead, where Steve Bick and I offer news and a unique lineup of weekly guests. All here on the OTB TV network.
Wagering at CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Capital Bet TV, the fastest and easiest online wagering experience where you can monitor 5 different tracks simultaneously. 2. Capital Bet Express. Its straightforward program layout and interactive handicapping information lets you build your wager quickly and efficiently. And 3. Capital Bet Pro, designed especially for the professional horse player. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Missed one of our TV shows? No worries. Now you can catch all your favorite programs online. Simply log on to CapitalOTB.com and click on the YouTube link at the bottom of the homepage. And look for our new podcast coming soon. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill and Mike Jarbo. I just took a look at Turf Paradise. We'll now shift our attention to Parks for this afternoon. Their opener today, race number 1 is a maiden claimer, $20,000 to $25,000. These are 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs.
I'm going to go 1, 5, and 2 in here, and I found this race pretty interesting for a basement level maiden claimer because there's a field of 6, and of those 6, you have 4 who are shortening up from 7 furlongs. 1 who is a first-time starter, and the horse on the inside who's also interesting. But I'm going to go, like I said, 1, 5, 2. I like Lucy Acton on top. This one is going shorter. Pardon me, stretches from 5 to 6 furlongs here, and takes a minor rise in class. Takes 11 pounds off from the last start, and if you look at the trouble line, was steadied in the backstretch on the last race. So I think you're going to see better out of Lucy Acton today, and you might get a little bit of a price on this one. In the second spot, we'll go to Lemon Strudel, who I think might be the favorite. I didn't see the morning line before I did all this. But this one shows a few good ones going shorter. The last 2 7-furlong times this one ran were actually better times than most of the other competition in here going 7. So I'm thinking maybe the turn back is going to help here. And in the third spot, we're going to go to the 2, the first-time starter, Honey Springs, who goes out for Scott Lake, and had a bullet workout on March 14th, the best workout, 1 of 1, the only horse that worked that day, and managed to get the best time. The other workouts look pretty good. A bullet from the gate, breezing from the gate, 6 out of 28. The workouts look okay. I don't know much about the sire, but somebody has to finish third, so we're going to put Honey Springs in the third spot, 1, 5, and 2 in the first at Parks.
Race number 2 this afternoon, a calendar condition claimer, $7,500 tags. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. They'll go a quick 5 furlongs.
7, 1, and 2 in here. I'm going to take Deputy Gone Wild on top. Now this one's interesting because it's a reclaim by a good trainer. Last out was reclaimed by Guadalupe Guerrero, and the race before that had been claimed from him. So obviously he sees something in this gal. The barn is sharp. The horse got well bet to 8 to 5 last time. Got stuck on a deep rail in the mud, and I think that compromised her chances. She's had a little bit of time off, so I'm looking for a better performance out of this one today. So we'll put Deputy Gone Wild on top. In the second spot, we'll go to the inside with Barbara's Beauty, who has run consistently better times at the distance than most of these. Going a couple back, ran a 76 buyer going 6.5 furlongs in the mud. Cuts back to 5 furlongs today and has won 6 of 13 at that distance, has a good record at Parks. So we're going to put Barbara's Beauty in the second spot. In the third spot, we'll go to the 2, First Love, who exits some slower races than the other 2. Takes a slight rise in class, showed improved speed last out, went off at 25 to 1 and managed to get the win. That was a pretty good effort, so we'll put First Love to get a piece of this. 7, 1, and 2 in the second at Parks.
Race number 3, a state-bred maiden special weight event. These are Pennsylvania-bred 3-year-old fillies. They will go 5.5.
I think you might be looking at the shortest price of the day in this race. We'll go 6, 7, and 4. We're going to put Megador on top. This one faces Statebreds today after debuting in maiden specials for a bigger purse. Showed speed in that race, and what really wasn't too bad. Raced off the rail, faded late, but I think with that experience under her belt, I think she's going to show up with a good performance today, and doesn't appear to be meeting a whole lot of other stock in here. So we're going to put Megador on top, the 6. In the second spot, we'll go to the 7, Fat Cat, who also moves to Statebreds today. Got bet to 6-5 last out, and ran far behind Megador, who finished 3rd in that race. That was in the mud. Maybe a better track will move this one up today. So we're going to put the 7, Fat Cat, in the second spot. In the third spot, we'll go to the Muckratary, who shows some gaps in the workouts for her first start. And I think with these firsters, sometimes you have to watch the board, and the board will tell the story. But the trainer and jock have had some success here, and this trainer also has a 29% mark with first-time starters. So watch the board and maybe take a look at what this one looks like in the post parade. So we will go 6, 7, and 4 in the third at Parks.
That was race number 3, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, race number 4.
Did I call it race number 4?
Yeah, you called it race number 4, and you had me worried because now I was going to turn my page. But race number 4 at Parks this afternoon. It is a calendar condition claimer, 7,500 tags. These are 4-year-olds up. They'll go 6.5.
Sorry about that. Okay, now you've got me off my game here. Now,
you had me off my game.
So we're even. In the fourth, we'll go to the 5 on top. We're going to go 5, 3, 6 in here. The 5 on top, Noah's Dream, who 2-back prompted the pace versus similar company. Looks like he'll be the main speed in here, and should be alone on the lead. Has 8 out of 16 wins at this track. Third off layoff, which is my favorite, one of my favorite angles, because they're usually pretty tightened up by then. So we will take Noah's Dream to maybe go wire to wire here. In the second spot, we'll go to the 3, Cat's Hope, who gets what I think is a positive rider switch today, raced in the slop, which I guess everybody's been doing in Parks so far this year and the few times they've run. And we're gonna forgive the this one kind of backed up in that race, and we're going to forgive that. And was caught on the inside, probably was deep, and was not the place to be. So we'll see an improved performance today, I hope, out of Cat's Hope, the 3. And in the third spot, the 6, More for Your Money, who shows consistent figures in the last 3 races. One for and the reason this horse is still eligible, despite the win last time, is it won for $5,000, which the condition says that's acceptable. So last time drew clear, very good effort last out. I think we're going to see a good one out of this one today. 5, 3, and 6 in the fourth. This is the 4th at Parks.
Race number 5 at Parks this afternoon. Conditional claimer, $7,500 tags. Non-winners of 4 lifetime. The conditionals, non-winners of 4. Now it starts to the waters get a little deeper. The non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3. They aren't that much a step away from maiden company. But you start to get the non-winners of 4, gets a little bit salty. 4-year-olds and up, they'll go a mile.
Okay, 1, 6, and 3 in here. We're going to take demographic trend on top, part of an entry. This one gets major class relief today, dropping down from 16,000 starter allowance to $7,500 claimers. And if you look at the race 2-back facing $16,000 claimers, went wire to wire against a field, and that was back in December. Took some time off, came back in February, and the allowance try, well, that didn't go so well. So he's back down in class. And if you look at the race 2-back, the horse that finished second was well clear of the third horse. So I think demographic trend is going to show up with a really good race today. In the second spot, Perfect Wind, the 6, This one shows a pretty good closing effort, 2 back. I think Speed has been doing pretty well in Philadelphia, but so this one has to hope for a good pace in front of him. So we'll put Perfect Win second. And also this one has 3 wins and only 10 starts, which is pretty lightly raced for this bunch. So Perfect Win we'll put in the second spot. In the third spot, we will go to the 3 Hornbuckle, who I think has been scheduled to race in every canceled Parks card that I've handicapped so far in the last few months. This one just missed after clearing the field early last out, and races best on the lead. And I think this one can hang around and be in the mix today. So 1, 6, and 3 in. I know it's the 5th at Parks.
All right, we'll take our next break. When we come back, we will continue our look at Parks 4 this afternoon. The Handicappers Report on a Tuesday morning, looking at Tuesday afternoon action. Stay tuned.
I'm Steve Beck.
And I'm Seth Merrill.
Together, we're loose on the lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., loose on the lead, Capital OTB.
Using CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Simply log on with your username and password from the homepage. 2. Fund your Capital OTB account through our Easy Money, Green Dot, or Visa MasterCard options. And 3. Place your bet on one of our 3 easy-to-navigate wagering platforms, Capital Bet TV, Capital Bet Express, or Capital Bet Pro. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB television network.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. We will continue now our look at Parks for this afternoon. Their race number 6, conditional claimer, $14,000 to $16,000 tags. Non-winners of 3 lifetime the condition. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, traveling 1.70 miles.
I will go 3, 6, and 4 in here. My top selection is My Sonata, who moves to open company today after facing allowance company state-bred runners. And the last 2 efforts by this filly have been not so hot, as you can see on the paper. Drops down from this allowance condition to $16,000 claimers. And if you do a little archaeology and look a few races back, this one ran versus non-winners at 2 and put in a really strong effort back in November, going 1.70 miles, which is the distance she'll be going today. Showed speed in that one, and I don't know what happened. The wheels just came off in the last 2. So I'm gonna take a shot that My Sonata is gonna do better today. Also drops the blinkers today, which could make a change. Gets a rider change back to a rider who has ridden her in the past. And I think there's some positive angles here to see a better performance from My Sonata today. In the second spot, we're going to go to the 6, Rock My World, who moves a little bit up in class today, going, and last out went 1 mile on a good track and had a really blowout wind on the front end. Got bet to 9 to 5 that day, and it put blinkers on, so blinkers seemed to have improved this one's speed. And I think she can get some gas going early and maybe keep going and get second in here. In the third spot, we'll go to Foxy Sid, the 4, who stretches back out, has one win at the distance in one try, and had a pretty strong effort going off a short layoff last time out. And this one also was claimed in the last start, and this barn is really good off the claim. So we will see a good performance today, I think, from Foxy Sid. 3-6-4 for me at Parks.
Race number 7 at Parks this afternoon. It is a state-bred allowance, non-winners of one other than. These are 3-year-olds, and they'll go 5.5.
5, 6, and 2 in here. In the first spot I have If You Got the Notion, which I thought was an old song, I think, wasn't it? This one, last out in the debut, ran a really strong race on the front end. Wound up beating the maidens by 3 lengths. Gets Lasix today and shows a really impressive workout on March 2nd, going 4 furlongs, a 47-second blowout. I think Jason Service has this one cranked to go, and I'm going to put 5, If You Got the Notion, on top. In the second spot, we'll go to the 6, Bright Skies. Last time got caught up front on a pace that was too hot and just completely faded late. Drops from, that was versus Stakes Company, gets significant class relief today. Took a lot of money in that race. Had been off since November, probably needed the tightener. So we will take Bright Skies to show a better effort in this one. In the third spot, we'll go to the 2, Limestone Cowboy, who really had a light bulb moment in his last start in the mud, going 7 furlongs, and absolutely blew away a maiden field in his 7th start. So maybe this one can build off that race. We'll go 5, 6, 2 in the 7th at Parks.
I don't know if You've Got the Notion was an actual song title, but I looked it up. It's in the middle of song lyrics of Rock the Boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. If you've got the notion, do some locomotion. Rock the boat, baby.
A terrible reminder of the disco years. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah, the 8th race this afternoon at Parks. Another allowance, non-winners of one other than. This is Open Company. This time, 4-year-olds and up. They'll go 1.70 miles. Rock the boat, Mike.
6, 5, and 2 for me in here. I'm going to put Mary's Very One on top. Last out, changed riders last out, and that didn't seem to work out. He put in a pretty not so hot performance, dropped back after trying to get forwardly placed. 2 back though, if you do a little archaeology and look back to November, you'll see an excellent performance. A 90 buyer racing on the lead, finished right behind a next out winner. So I think if we can get Mary's Very One back to that race 2 back and returns to the same rider today, I think we're going to see a much improved performance. The 5 is my second pick, Cantona, and this one has a 16 out of 36 record in the exact at Parks, and you certainly can't ignore that. Last out, got bumped, lost the rider, while bet to 8-5. Before that, raced in the slop, got beat 3/4 of a length, and I'm looking for a good performance from Cantona today, based off that. In the third spot, Special Congrats, who has 4 third-place finishes in a row. Last out, got bumped in a big field of 10, draws inside the other speed, and should secure a position at the rail, in just judging by what the other horses have done. We'll go 6, 5, 2 in the 8th at Parks.
Race number 9 at Parks this afternoon is, I have to turn my, where is race number 9?
There is no race number 9.
Oh, okay. Well, why didn't you inform me of that? You should.
I just thought that was something you had to learn yourself.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Grasshopper, now you know.
And it's been funny, they've been doing the 8 races at Parks, which to me is funny with the lack of dates they had. You know, you'd think they'd be
That's what
races.
I didn't get either. When I went over the card last night, I didn't understand why they're not running 15 there.
Yeah, they had so many dates off this winter. Of course, they did have the quarantine down there, but I think the quarantine was more precautionary. I don't think that was affecting a lot of horses. I don't think that was keeping horses off the track necessarily. Now it may be still affecting horses shipping in though. Maybe that's a factor. But you had 8 races last week or the week before too.
Well,
So
you got me back then for that me reading the wrong race earlier in the show.
No, you got me back. All right. We'll wrap things up for the Handicappers. Well, we have a few minutes left, but do want to remind you what's on the network this afternoon. Turf Paradise and Parks are the 2 tracks we looked at. There are a couple of the tracks that you'll be watching this afternoon. Parks kicks things off, moving on to Monticello, Beulah, Sam Houston, Turf Paradise, Western Fair, Harness, Dover Down, Northfield, and Yonkers Raceway. So things get slim on Tuesdays, but boy, there's plenty of action out there for you to find some horses to maybe make a little cash on this afternoon. Don't forget, if you go over to capitalotb.com, you can link to the selections from both Mike and myself for this Tuesday afternoon. Handicappers Report link over there on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget the Bet 50, Get 50 promotion continues all month long. If you're not yet a Capital Bets wagering account holder, if you sign up in the month of March, make your first $50 of wagers during this month. Capital OTB will put another $50 into your account, free money out there, and that then gives you access as well to the capitalotbbet.com wagering website. We're a few months into it, but boy, again, a lot of bells and whistles there. It makes it easy to watch the races, pull up replays. There's handicapping information there as well. So certainly a nice addition to the technology down here at Capital OTB. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I know I'm enjoying it. Mike, do you want to remind people as well? Our friend talked about it yesterday. Our friend Sean Clancy of the Saratoga Special. He and his brother Joe put that out up here in Saratoga. We're very familiar with that publication. Sean is over in England this morning, afternoon over there. And he's already written about it a little bit on his website. This is horseracing.com. You can follow him following Cheltenham, the Cheltenham Festival, over again on thisishorseracing.com. But this morning he was writing about didn't get much sleep last night in anticipation of opening day at the Cheltenham. And Sean Clancy has a runner today. Valdez is the name of his horse. Sean Clancy's Riverdee stable. Right. Valdez in the second race at Cheltenham this afternoon, the Arkle. Goes off 2:05 their time, about 10:05. So it should be, if I calculated correctly, I think about 15 minutes. Clancy's horse will be hitting the track at Cheltenham. And we had Sean on last week, and Mike. You know, over here, jump racing just isn't that big. But over there, there's a flat season, a defined flat season, and then the wintertime is a jump season. And Cheltenham kind of puts the punctuation on that. And Sean's been over there a number of times, and he was talking about it. And just, I had pulled up some photos for the discussion with Sean last week. You know, and the grandstand's full, and Sean says it's a crazy atmosphere. Wow. It's like Breeders' Cup Day over here. So, you know, we think of jump racing in a completely different context. But this next 4 days over there, very, very big. And the way he was describing it, I'd love to go over it. And each day was themed. Today is, I think the title is Champion Day, and then there's a Ladies' Day. But Thursday is St. Patrick's Day at the Cheltenham Festival. And I thought,
boy, I'll bet that's a time.
That's got to be fun. And Sean said he was actually there one year on the action. This is, you know, St. Patrick's Day at the Cheltenham Festival, since St. Patrick's Day is next week. But Sean said one year he was there on the actual St. Patrick's Day, and he said it was quite a scene, as you can imagine. But so we wish him well, certainly. And Mike also talked on Racing Across America at the end of last week about the numbers, the handle numbers that came out nationally. No surprise that February numbers given, and you and Parks were the perfect example of it this winter with the cancellations. The handle numbers did dip. The Feb 2013 to February 2014 handle numbers dipped just over 4%, and the number of races dipped significantly as well. and in fact, a little more than the handle. So maybe that's a good side, but no surprise that the handle numbers dipped given the weather.
No, like Parks probably had actually a major role in that. With
I would think so, yeah, because in December alone, I think they lost about 10 days, but that kept right up into February because they were getting hit. It just seemed like they couldn't get the track right this winter, but the weather never let up.
I know. I think they canceled every Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was like they had a storm every Tuesday. And, you know, right now I was just looking for the 9th race at Parks, and I couldn't even find it. So.
And then the weather affected fairgrounds with races off the turf. We saw Los Alamitos cancel a couple of Saturdays ago because of wet weather out in Southern California. So coast to coast, north and south. And again, the February handle numbers, no surprise given the weather.
If Los Alamitos gets snowed out, we got a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I'll start buying into that global or climate change thing. All right, we're going to take our leave here of the Handicappers Report on this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrow and Mike Jarbo. Hopefully we gave you out some good information, so have some fun at the races this afternoon. Stay tuned. Up next, Racing Across America.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.